Good day, everybody. Welcome back. This is Michael Levitis from jurisq.com, and I'm here back with attorney, an immigration attorney, a guru on all things that have to do with immigration, Yakov Spektor. Welcome back.
Hi, Michael. Good to be back.
Appreciate it. And Yakov, we're going to pick your brain on a frequently asked question and a frequent issue that you see comes up in immigration cases, and you're going to tell us how to deal with it. The issue is discrepancy in paperwork. When people apply for asylum or status based on marriage, what have you, you have to provide a lot of paperwork from your country of origin, where you were born, where you were before. And sometimes, Yakov, you told me, person can be born in one country, then lived in another country. They have different conflicting documents, and sometimes it gets immigration agents nervous, right? It could be a hindrance in the process. So please tell us, what have you seen, what happens, some samples, and what do you do to overcome and to allay any fears or concerns of immigration authorities?
Well, it's actually a much bigger problem than you might think, because most of us have our passports, our birth certificates. The spelling is the same, the date of birth is the same, but strangely enough, it's very very widespread. I'll give you a very easy example. Russian Federation.
Okay.
They, in the last 15 or 20 years, when they were issuing passports for their citizens, they have to provide the spelling of the citizens' names in using Latin letters. Because as we all know, Russian is Cyrillic, and every time they would do this, they would change the rules a little bit. So they wouldn't let people kind of just pick a proper English spelling for their names. They would do it according to their own rules. So that resulted that people might have 2 or 3 documents issued, passports issued over the course of 15, 20 years, where their names in Russian would be the same, but their names in English would be off by a letter or 2.
That's a problem.
And that presents a lot of problems, because what happens when somebody is applying here for anything, whether it's a driver's license, buying a weapon, or getting a green card, the government will run background checks on that person. And the people who have their names spelled 4 different ways till Sunday oftentimes find themselves in a situation where nothing is happening to their cases, because their background checks remain pending. They're just stuck. The government doesn't know what to do with all this. There are usually fields on the paperwork that will ask you, okay, have you ever had any other name? And that, people who ever change their names when they would get married know what I'm talking about. But for situations like this, when there's a discrepancy on your document, this might not be enough. Additionally, there's lots of countries who just never register births or they don't register deaths. I'll give you an example. India, according to some estimates, does not register up to 80% of their deaths.
Wow.
Of course, those people are usually not exactly applying for their green cards here, but a lot of them might not have a birth certificate that was issued when they were born. And the government always always has a problem with the birth certificate that was issued many decades later, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I could probably go on until until we are all bored, giving you examples how people were born in one country, the Soviet Union, and then they end up citizens of another country once the Soviet Union falls apart. But the underlying problem is the same. What do we do when let's say our birth certificate says one thing, but our passport says another thing? What do we do if we have 3 different spellings on our 3 different documents that are equally valid? And the answer, as with everything else, is that you have to know the representative who will be applying for you, your immigration lawyer. He will know how to handle these types of situations. Sometimes it means reminding the government agencies here, that there is a person behind those documents and still the same person. The regulations do say that the documents that might have a discrepancy can be explained away. As long as you have a good explanation, it's going to be okay. Unfortunately, like with every agency, any bureaucratic agency that you might encounter, people who work there for a long time, they kind of stop seeing the person behind the document. The document is a primary consideration for them, and unless there's someone like me who can remind them what the law is and what they are supposed to do in case of a discrepancy, they might simply sit on your case for years until something happens. So if you find yourself in this kind of a situation, you have spelling errors on your paperwork, right? Or there's any discrepancies that you might be worried about. This could be addressed, but it has to be done right.
So this is why it is so important to have an attorney on your side that knows the law and can remind, like you said, these bureaucrats of what to follow the law and not their personal feelings, or wake them up from their jaded state of minds.
Exactly.
And we had a whole session with you before on how dangerous it is to use paralegals or go yourself in front of immigration attorneys who, if you use a paralegal, they just don't know the law the way an attorney would, and the paralegal is not taken seriously by I think immigration authorities. So really appreciate you shedding light on this important issue, and again reminding us of an importance to have an attorney who focuses rather on immigration law, who knows the ins and outs, who has seen the behavior of the clerks in immigration services, and how to convince them to do the right thing according to the law. Again, all we discuss here, it's all very general. We're here to educate the public on what's out there, what are the concerns and issues. If you are looking for a change in your immigration status, but if you have specific questions, if you want to talk to somebody about your specific case, want to get second opinion, please call the phone number of Yakov Spektor on the bottom of the screen and get a consultation. Yakov, thank you so much for your time. Thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next month with more FAQs on immigration law. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.